Every time we sit down to make a video, there's always some level of excitement I feel, but I'm like so over the top excited to talk about this project.
Yeah, no, you're going 1,000 miles an hour right now.
The Penguin puts other spin-off shows to shame.
It kind of pisses me off how good it was.
I know.
You know what I mean? I'm like, the Penguin?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we're talking about just how good the Penguin show was.
But before we get into it, guys, question of the week, have you watched The Penguin? Let us know your thoughts down below.
And as always, before we get into it, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, become a Comic Lad.
Become a fellow lad. Kind of building off of what you just said before, like, I can't believe it's The Penguin. I remember when the show was first announced, like 2-3 years ago.
I was fuming.
I know, me and you were like talking to each other, like, what the hell are they thinking? A Penguin show?
Yeah, cool.
What are they gonna do next?
They can't get this Green Lantern show off the ground for like 7 years, but the Penguin show is like getting made for HBO. What the fuck?
I knew what to expect from the Reeves verse.
Yeah.
What kind of tone, the kind of stories they want to tell in that space. But this was like a flawless show.
I know, I was going into it like super cynical, like... I'm ready to fucking hate this show. Because me personally, like, I like the Batman, but I'm not super in on it like everyone else is. It's just like, it's not everything that I want from Batman. But just starting the first episode, like, Colin Farrell, he just sold me, man.
Everyone in the show, there was not one point where I thought, oh, they're acting.
No, they're all disgusting. It makes no sense. I don't know who cast them, but they're ridiculous.
It's insane. I mean, especially Colin Farrell, as soon as those prosthetics are on his face and he literally transforms into a different person,
It's horrifying.
he's scary looking. But like, he's amazing as the Penguin.
So good. And also Kristen Milioti.
Oh my god. As Sophia Falcone. The plot of this show was amazing.
Yeah, we should do a little quick rundown of it.
So obviously, as things leave off in the Batman, you know, part 1 from a few years ago now, Falcone is dead, and there's this huge power surge, and Oz basically sees his chance to finally get to the top. You know, he's been more or less like a grunt, lower-level mob boss for the last couple of years, club owner.
Yeah, he's been like Falcone's muscle.
Handles all the dirty work. The story basically is just his rise to the top. With his experience as Falcone's muscle, he knows how to play dirty.
He knows how to play off of everyone in the Gotham underworld. He's always listening to everyone's dirty dealings and building like a database of information and dirt in his head so that when he's ready to kind of make his move, no one knows what to expect from him.
And I love that everyone in that world in Gotham calls him the Penguin.
This like derogatory term.
Exactly, and I just love, it's like such a great underdog story, but he's not the hero.
No, he's not. He is so despicable of a character.
I know.
Like, there are no redeeming qualities to this guy, bro.
But at the same time, his character is so intriguing that you want to follow the story.
Yeah, well, it's because everyone else in the show is also like a dog shit human being.
And speaking of other people in the show, like you said, Sophia Falcone comes into the picture. It's revealed that she spent the last 10 years as the Hangman, you know what I mean, in jail, in Arkham, exactly.
Yeah.
And she's released, and, you know, with her father's timely death, she now has the opportunity to also get to the top of that family and rule the Gotham underworld. And seeing the cat and mouse storytelling of Oz versus Sophia, you know, how they play each other, how they align with each other, how they make alliances when it is mutually beneficial, but end up screwing each other at the same time at any point they can.
And the way they juxtaposed Oz's and Sophia's stories together at the same time was so good. It reminded me almost of like the way they do it in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they're showing you Aang's story and Zuko's story at the same time. You're witnessing kind of the same thing happening with Oz and Sophia. They're both trying to like grab whatever they can. It's such a like dirty, grimy game that they're playing, and they're just snatching whatever bits and scraps of power that they can.
The reason why they're like that is because Gotham and their environments have done them so dirty. They've made them that desperate, and they've made them into those underdogs that will do anything to be at the top. Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone, ridiculous. Like, everyone has an Emmy nomination, like,
No,
in
this
the
is
bag.
this is an Emmy win. It has to be.
She is incredible.
Unreal.
Incredible. And, like, I still have fucking scars for How I Met Your Mother.
No, God!
God!
You know what I mean? So when I saw her at first, I was like, oh God.
It's like, no, fuck, man.
But like, I want to see more of this actress.
Me too. And I'm really glad that they didn't cop out and kill her.
I agree, 100%.
It was such a like brutal back to square one moment for her when she just is back in Arkham. I was like, this is so fucking
back in Arkham, framed for crimes she didn't even commit.
Obviously, it's bad for her, but for us, it's amazing because she's just shelved for now for the Batman Part 2.
We talked briefly about her coming back to Arkham at the end of the series, but let's talk about how she ends up there in the first place. There's one episode where they focus just on her. Oz is in it as a side character almost in flashbacks as her driver.
Yeah.
They've sewn these connections throughout these two characters' history. It's not just present day power struggle, seeing them interact. You get to see them in the past.
He's just a schmuck on like the lower rungs of the ladder, and she's like the princess of the Falcons.
And seeing how he was partly responsible for her ending up in Arkham to begin with, what ends up happening is she figures out that her father has killed her mother and countless of other women.
Yeah,
you know
he is the Hangman.
Exactly.
He's this like Gotham Strangler serial killer. I wanted to point out it's such a cool twist on what they introduced in Batman Dark Victory, where Sophia is the actual Hangman.
Yeah.
But in this, it's so cool that she's not and she's framed for it.
Yeah, and that's also like what makes the character so despicable, because he kills all these women, and then when Sophia confronts him about it, you know, and not even in like a very confrontational way, she just brings it up, like alluding to the fact that she knows that he's done this.
Yeah, he's like, oh, could you do this to me, Sophia? And he fucking frames her.
And the fact that he puts it all on his own daughter.
It's disgusting.
Like you mentioned before, we don't like everything to do with the Batman Part 1.
For sure.
But we both stood behind how Gotham in this world is portrayed. And how they portrayed Arkham Asylum in that one episode.
God.
It was horrific. I was getting goosebumps.
Yeah, that girl that fucking...
LinkedIn can't make your boss less cringy, but we can help you find a new job.
Dear, this us can't happen.
What?
Oh, come on, that discount you gave me.
Ma'am, that wasn't just for you.
Don't be embarrassed.
Turns out they're not just for you. Every IKEA family member can find...
That's her own girl, bro. That shit was heinous.
I know. This is how I imagine Arkham Asylum being in real life.
Absolutely.
Just an absolute horror picture show.
Yeah, and you know they were just like teasing us with that really crazy, giggling blonde woman. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man.
You know, throw a little tease in there. You don't have to outright say her name.
It's all good.
But yeah, seeing how Sophia's done so dirty, and it makes you sympathize with her. But at the same time, like you mentioned before, there's no good people in the show. And even though you can see that she's done dirty, when she gets out, her actions and her vengeance lead Gia to be an orphan. And it's like the cycle that she's trying to break just continues.
And she can't control it. I would like to put an asterisk on one thing you said. There are no good people in the show, except one.
Oh no.
Guys, let's talk about my boy Victor.
Guys, we can't stress this enough. Everyone in this show was an A-tier actor. S-tier actor.
S-tier actor. That's
so convincing.
Victor, what a tragic, depressing fucking story. Victor is this down on his luck kid who lost his family in the Riddler flood from the end of the Batman Part 1, and now he's just trying to make it on his own as a Gotham street tough. He's kind of like Jason Todd. Like, Penguin meets him trying to like boost his tires.
Definitely.
Yeah. Penguin takes him under his wing and he molds him into becoming kind of his right-hand man.
Yeah, his apprentice.
Exactly. His like squire, basically.
And he corrupts him, which I love.
I haven't felt this stressed, just depressed to my core in a show in such a long time as when he's gonna meet his girlfriend at the bus and then he just doesn't and she's waiting for him. I was losing it.
Because at that point in the story, he's at like a pivotal...
He's at a crossroad.
A crossroad, exactly, where he can choose the life of honor, peace, and betterment to go with his girlfriend and leave this life of crime, or stick with Oz. And as we all know, there's only one outcome in this game. You either die or you end up in jail. By the end of the series, he falls into one of those two categories. Victor, like Oz and Sophia, is kind of a product of Gotham's environment.
Yeah. I just want to say, my boy Victor stood on fucking business. We talked about how he chooses not to go with his girl and he chooses to go help Oz, and he just bulldozes those people.
And it's because Victor's lost his family.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I think he chooses Oz as his new family.
He does.
Dude, that was the first time where you can see that Victor's willing to lay everything on the line for Oz.
Absolutely.
And he does so many times subsequently from that.
And it's bad because the show makes you root for that, even though you know deep in your heart of hearts that you shouldn't. When he fucking takes down down Squid, bro, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, fuck
I know.
Squid.
It kind of like corrupts the viewer.
Definitely.
As well as Victor, because when you're watching that, you're like, oh, hell yeah. He's like, he's coming into his own.
And how does Oz thank him for that, bro?
He strangles him.
What the fuck? At the beginning of the show, when we first met Vic and it was like he's gonna be his apprentice, I was like, oh fuck, Oz is gonna kill him. But then the show made me be like, no, this is like Oz's son.
I was watching the episode finale yesterday at time of recording this video.
Yeah.
And when we got to the ending, where you see Oz and Victor talking on the bench, having that kind of heart-to-heart, I remember saying out loud, I'm like pleasantly surprised Victor's made it to the end. I was really expecting him to die either as a consequence of Oz's actions, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my god, this is great. Like, I want to see more of this duo. And as soon as he hits Victor with that line, but listen, kid, I was like, no.
So bad.
I was like that Punisher meme, like, no. Wait. I was like, please no. And again, like the way they balance you sympathizing for Oz and kind of realizing that there isn't anything to sympathize with, he's just an outright monster. They tote the line so beautifully, and that's just the seal at the end where you realize, oh no,
this is the villain and he always will be.
and you as the viewer and everyone else in Gotham, all of Gotham's underworld, rooted for the wrong underdog.
Yeah. We have to talk about another actor on this show. Deirdre O'Connell as Frances Cobb, Oz's mom. One of the most heartbreaking performances I've ever seen in my life. Incredible.
I agree.
And it's such a roller coaster. I did not know where they were going to take it. When you first see her, you get the sense that she's disappointed in Oz because he's a criminal and he's down on his luck, but you don't know how deep her disappointment and kind of resentment towards him goes until like the last couple episodes when you see Oz's childhood backstory.
And building off what you said, when you first see her, when Oz goes to visit her, you can already tell there's a weird relationship there. She's all like, oh, my big strong bull of a son, you have to like make it to the top, get me out of the slums. And already you're like, this is some weird parasitic relationship, but you don't know
how deep and twisted it is.
exactly and who's feeding off of who.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, that episode where you see his backstory, how he kills his brothers to gain the sole affection of his mom.
Yeah, but I love that they kept Frances's agency and made her just know what happened.
And even at one point in the flashbacks, debating killing him because she can see the monster that he is. You can feel that conflict in her, and you as the viewer feel it too because, like we said before, throughout the whole show, you're rooting for Oz, but you can recognize what a monster he is. And I feel like that's kind of played in the same theme as what the mother's feeling.
And I really love that they just gave her all the agency that they could at the end and just had her stick it to him and tell him everything that she's been feeling for years, that she hates him, that he disgusts her, that he killed her sons. And then she fucking stabs him, and I was like, this is amazing.
And the tragic ending to that character is that she ends up as a vegetable. And that scene at the very end where Oz finally gives her everything that he's promised throughout his life, the penthouse view of the city, and she's a vegetable, and you just see her crying, the tears streaming down her face, but she can't move. And he's keeping her alive as this like selfish, almost like trophy of his accomplishment. You know what I mean?
It is a trophy. And then he fucking goes downstairs, and his girl from earlier in the show is dressed up as his mom and like is role-playing her. I'm like,
giving him words of affirmation.
who the fuck was I rooting for? I was like, what the fuck, man? This show put me on such a roller coaster. And then it pans out and the fucking bat signal turns on. I was like,
Tell me you'll never forget that native deodorant has no aluminum.
No matter what.
Okay, this is something that I really want to talk about.
Okay.
Where the fuck was Batman? Like, seriously.
thank you. Because listen, we're absolutely glazing the Penguin show, rightfully so. I've seen so many The Batman glazers be like,
Rusk, sustained many injuries. He just took a shotgun blast to the chest, and Alfred's not feeling well.
like Batman would be out the next night. What's Alfred gonna do? Like, oh, please stay, Master Wayne, and make me tea. Like, he's fine.
Well, not only would he be out the next night, but with everything happening too,
Yeah.
Batman's role in Gotham is stopping crime.
Entire city blocks are exploding. Whole crime families are being gassed in their own mansions, and Batman's like,
It's frustrating too because I think there was such a missed opportunity there to have an episode from the villain's perspective.
Yeah.
Running away from the Batman and trying to outsmart him.
Exactly, and you don't even have to show him. There was not one time where one of the criminals was like, oh shit, we shouldn't be here. Like, what if he comes and finds us?
Like, you want to feel like the Batman's almost an elemental force.
Exactly. You
what
want to feel like he's like, I don't want him to beat Penguin at the end of the show. That's not the point. But I want to feel like he is a couple steps behind, like at least following these breadcrumbs.
We could have had just some shots of just the shadows, you know what I mean? And just like a figure outline following. I just would have really loved an episode, just one episode where you get to see Oz or, you know, the crime family.
Just acknowledge that he exists.
I know,
and
Batman closing in, but no one even mentions him throughout the show. That's not one mention of him.
That's the one thing that I'm just like, you kind of missed me there. Make me feel like a little more like it's in the same world when none of the other actors also appear except for that one like police chief who like talks like this, you know, his voice. Like, he's the only one that kind of also reprises his role, and I'm just like, pull me back into the Batman universe a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Speaking of the Batman universe, seeing the Penguin just proves that like this world that Reeves has created
works.
It works, and it frustrates me so much that this isn't part of DC Studios and the DCU.
I know, man, and people are like, oh, but the tones don't mesh. I'm like, that's the fucking point.
I know.
That's the point. You're supposed to have all these differing tones and moods. Like, Gotham is supposed to be this anomaly of a city that exists in an otherwise super heroic and fantastical world.
When The Brave and the Bold and James Gunn's take on Batman finally comes out, I'm just gonna be thinking about this world and all the different potential it has, you know what I mean? All the different ways they can tell stories in it and different characters. And the fact that they took a character like the Penguin and made it as good of a show as it is.
And they get the aesthetic of Gotham and that whole Batman mythos so right. It's like a no-win situation for James Gunn's Batman. It's either gonna be something wildly different looking so that it doesn't like clash with this, which then I'm like, this Gotham feels more like Gotham than James Gunn's will, or it's gonna just look like this one and then I'm gonna feel like it's unoriginal. We just don't want two Batman.
I would want this to be part of the DCU because it's just more streamlined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a world that, especially after this project, I was already intrigued with the Batman, but after the Penguin, I just want to see more of it. Another thing that I want to bring up about this whole world is this show literally puts all of the MCU spin-off shows to shame. You know what I mean? No, but like, listen, whenever there's a new MCU spin-off show, the pitch is always, because it's not a theatrically released product, we can tell more like tonally diverse stories. We can like, you know, push the mature ratings. We can tell darker stories that are not so much in that kind of like popcorn flick aesthetic. And when they come out, they're just awful.
It's because Disney Plus doesn't know how to write interesting TV. They don't know the concept of show versus tell. They don't know how to write a 9-episode or a 6-episode plot. They know how to write 2 hours of plot and stretch it out like butter scraped over too much bread, you know, like Bilbo says, over 9 episodes, and it just doesn't work. HBO gets it, bro.
Yeah, and they put those other shows to shame. It does. I have to say, and it's frustrating because the MCU has just been pumping out show after show after show, all these spin-off characters getting their own projects. Nothing feels fresh with the shows that are coming out.
And I think that's part of why when this was announced, The Penguin, we were both so fucking cynical and annoyed about it.
Yeah, we're rolling our eyes.
Oh my god, man, another spin-off? Like, fuck off. And then it was like, oh shit, you can actually do it exceedingly well.
Yeah, and it just proves that these characters aren't always what lead these shows and what make them successful. It's the writing, it's the storytelling. Much like the theme of the show itself, this is the perfect underdog story.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Penguin coming up, we were like, there's no way this is gonna be good.
Yeah, and it's fucking elite.
It's amazing.
Oh, good.
If you haven't watched the show,
watch it right now.
I'm not always for streaming platforms, but I would say in this case, get a subscription to Crave.
Or HBO Max.
Or HBO Max, exactly.
Yeah, we live in Canada, guys.
Watch the show because I'm gonna say I selfishly,
that's fine.
I freaking need these streaming channels to know these are the kind of projects that need funding. They need competent writing, a vision for the tone, for the themes, for the characters.
Yeah.
And they don't need to pump mediocre stuff out that people are gonna watch 2 episodes of and be turned off of.
There's 7 MCU shows coming out next year or something.
I don't know how those shows are gonna be, but so far The Penguin is worth, I would say, the last 5-6
MCU
spin-off shows.
100%. I am so excited for Lanterns now under HBO.
100%.
It's gonna be sick.
100%. The Penguin truly has set the bar for what DC Studios can do going forward.
It has.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below if you did watch the explosive season finale a couple days ago.
Make sure to like, comment down below, subscribe, become one with the lads, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
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 A wonderful man who's been with me all the way.
That little piggy booked a villa. This little piggy booked a hotel.
I used to struggle with dandruff, but now I use Head & Shoulders every wash. Because the active ingredient in Head & Shoulders fights off the microbes that cause dandruff.
Guys, they've done it.
Breaking news, lads. Thunderbolts was good.
It was a W.
It was a good movie. Bro, I haven't felt like this in years for a Marvel movie.
Honestly, I haven't been excited for what's next with Marvel
until this very moment.
Since like Endgame, I think.
Literally. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we're talking all about Thunderbolts.
I've had a spidey sense with this movie. Yeah, you can attest to this.
I can. Merlin's been like, dude, I swear it's gonna be good. I was like, there's no way.
And no one, like, no MCU fans have been as spurned as us in recent years.
That is true.
We always have to preface these videos saying we're fucking day one MCUers.
Day one. I'm speechless right now.
Guys, before we get into it, question of the week. Have you seen Thunderbolts or are you going to go see it? Let us know down below.
If you're on the fence, go see it.
They need to know that projects like this can make it.
Are what we want.
Exactly.
Yes.
I know. Before we get into our full deep dive, don't forget to like the video. It means the world to us. It really helps us out.
Subscribe if you haven't already. Become one with the Thunder Lads.
Thunder Lads?
Sucks.
Oh my god.
None of these are
Hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on any future videos. Let's get into this.
If you guys couldn't tell already, we loved this movie. We want you to go see it, and go see it if you haven't before you continue this video, because we just got to get into spoilers. We just got to get into it.
Yeah, some people would do like 2 separate reviews. We're just gonna jump right into it.
Where do we begin?
This movie is everything the Suicide Squad movie should have been. A ragtag team of anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Some characters that people might even consider villains
or lame,
brought together, work through their issues and their trauma,
and become friends. Boys, dare I say.
I know. It felt like I was watching the Avengers back in the day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Seeing like RDJ still trying to come back from his disastrous legacy as like the weapons maker of Stark Industries.
Yes. Steve Rogers trying to prove that he's not just like a Boy Scout.
And seeing these characters come together on screen and just kick some ass. It's what the MCU has needed.
You know what the MCU has needed, Merle, is a movie made by people.
Yeah, that took itself seriously.
And not like a studio and executives and like focus groups.
Jake Schreier, I was a huge fan of when he did Beef. He did a few of the episodes on Netflix.
Yeah.
Great miniseries with Stephen Yeun. And
cooked.
He cooked. And that's why, like, leading up to this, I had some semblance of hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And it paid off so well. All these actors had such incredible chemistry with each other, man. They were so fun. This is the first time also in a long time that I have had genuine laughs at a Marvel movie and not just like groans.
Yeah, it wasn't like the, oh, he's right behind me type of humor, you know? They weren't like the formulaic Marvel slop that we've been getting.
Yeah, they're not even slop, they were just slop.
Literally. There is one character, listen, this movie isn't perfect. There's one character that whenever she had a line, we would look at each other in the theater and kind of roll our eyes like, same old Marvel somehow is still here.
Yeah, and look, we're not trying to like rag on an actor, but Valentina's assistant character, Mel, was just like a Gen Z grown fest. It was so, like, all the lines they fed her were so cringe, and it was just like...
Yeah, there's this one line where Valentina was like, are there any loose ends? Like, tie them up. And she's like, well, we did, but now the rope is on fire or something. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I wanted to make a fart sound effect in the theater when I heard that. I was like, Jesus.
But aside from that, the entire cast was stellar.
Yeah, and the writing was great.
Yes, it was. Florence Pugh stole the whole show.
She is incredible. Completely sold me as like the next Black Widow.
100%. Yeah, can she just start calling herself Black Widow, please?
It's crazy to me that like we're this far into the multiverse saga.
Yeah.
Like just a couple films away from it ending.
Yeah.
And we're only now setting up these type of characters.
I know, but you know what? It might be just on time.
Because big spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, it's revealed that this team is not called the Thunderbolts.
They're actually the new Avengers, and I was like, what?
Yeah, in the theater, you said out loud, like, no, this doesn't happen. This is a joke.
There's no way.
But then, once it kind of settles in, you're like, wait, I could kind of fuck with this.
I could kind of fuck with it.
So the plot centers around Valentina. She's been hiring all of these anti-heroes and kind of fallen from grace characters like John Walker, who's supposed to be the next Captain America.
Yeah, except he, murdered someone on camera, so he's not.
Yeah. She's been promising them in exchange for doing covert operations.
Like a clean slate, basically.
A clean slate, or like...
From like The Dark Knight Rises. Clean slate.
Clean slate. She's been promising them something in one form or another in exchange for these services, and she's under fire. She's getting sued.
No, she's getting impeached.
Yeah, she's getting impeached by the government. She basically needs to destroy all of this evidence of wrongdoings.
And our focus character from the beginning is Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova. She's kind of at the end of her rope when we start this movie.
Yeah, I mean, she's depressed.
Yeah, fully stuck in depression. She is alone. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to keep going on these like shitty government like spec ops cleanup missions and just kill people for no reason.
Yeah, she wants more meaning in her life.
Yes. Yeah.
Straight off the bat, when you see her in the opening scene and she's standing at the top of the building and just leaps off completely unfazed.
This isn't someone being cool. This is like really concerning.
Yeah. Like there's some emotional damage going on behind the scenes here.
Yes. And we find out that not just Yelena, but all of our main stars in the Thunderbolts are kind of going through similar issues.
Yeah, John Walker's been rejected by his family.
Yeah, rejected and he left him.
Well, they have. I mean, we do get a flashback sequence where he's kind of like a piece of
he's a shithead
toward his wife and child.
Yeah.
But anyway, Valentina ends up setting up all of these characters to take each other out, to clean house, clean evidence, because like we said, she's being impeached and she needs to destroy all of this.
Yeah, and she sends them all separately on a ruse to like go and clean up this last little area for her. What she's actually doing is sending them all to kill each other so she can blow them up and literally clean slate herself.
We talked a little bit about the chemistry between the cast, but immediately when you see them all in a scene together and they're like physically trying to overpower one another,
I'm like, you guys are all friends, come on.
No, I know. I was like, already the seeds were being planted of I can get behind these characters working together. You know what I mean? Because they eventually realize what's actually happening and they're like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, we're clearly being set up here.
Unfortunately, they realize it a little too late for a certain character, and that's Olga Kurilenko's Taskmaster, who gets fucking domed. Why did you guys even make Taskmaster if you're gonna do this?
In a way, I'm kind of happy about it because I had such a bad taste in my mouth from Black Widow after I thought it was just such a disservice to the character that we've been waiting all those years to have a solo project.
Agreed.
And the Taskmaster, I don't want to say plot twist because it was kind of coming at you a mile away.
Yeah.
But the plot twist
was super weak sauce.
Was whack.
It was weak. It was weak sauce.
It was weak sauce. And so I feel like even Marvel recognized that.
Yeah.
And I think they also wanted something to, in the moment, show you that this movie was a little bit different.
Yes.
And so it was like two birds, one stone. Get her out of here and set up the tone for the rest of the movie.
So disrespectful still.
It's disrespectful to the character of Taskmaster from the comics, who is like such a badass.
One of the most cracked ever.
Yeah.
Moving on, though.
Moving on. We also get introduced in the scene to Robert Reynolds.
Bob, played by Lewis Pullman. What a fucking cast, man.
What a cast.
Holy shit.
Like,
he stole the whole show.
Him and Florence Pugh, everyone was doing a phenomenal job.
No, they were the 1-2 punch of this movie.
They were the 1-2 punch.
I didn't think they could pull Sentry off, and they fucking did.
I gotta be honest, Sentry, like, I'm lacking in terms of comic knowledge for him. I know he's kind of like considered the Superman type character.
One of them.
Of Marvel, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just so surprised what they did with him and how they showcase like really deep, sensitive topics like depression and drug abuse.
And abuse in general.
It is revealed at a certain point throughout this movie that Valentina had been working on the Sentry project to kind of like Homelander.
Yeah, she's trying to make her own superhero to give her, you know, like political power and kind of make her seem like the new Nick Fury, I guess I would say, of the MCU.
Yeah, and she was like, you know, taking people down their luck, you know, that are signing up for these quote-unquote medical experiments, ending up just getting like shoved out by the government and thrown away like waste when they, you know, the trials don't work.
Well, they all died.
Yeah, except for Bob.
And thank God for Bob.
Almighty Bob. It's so good.
He killed it, man.
He's kind of like a lost child.
He's someone that needed a hug and just like always got a slap.
And you even get to see like one of his powers, while he is really powerful like Superman or like Homelander or whatever.
The first power that we discover is that when he touches Florence Pugh, he kind of walks into like one of her deepest, darkest memories.
And pulls her into it at the same time.
Yeah.
He can do that with anyone. There's, like we mentioned earlier, there's a great moment with John Walker where he touches him and you see him reflecting in a flashback of how he mistreated his wife and child.
Yeah, and you're like, that was probably the breaking point in his marriage, you know, that memory that we got pulled to.
Yeah, and so it's such an interesting power set that lets you visually deep dive into the trauma that the characters have instead of just like showing it in a generic like black and white flashback sequence like other movies would do.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because you get to see them actually confront it. And there's this one moment throughout the movie where Florence Pugh is trapped in this memory. It was her first test in the Red Room,
where she had to kind of
lead a classmate to her death.
Lead a lamb to slaughter, literally, in one of her friends. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and you get to see her fight the memory, quite literally. She's like, no, please stop this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. And speaking of like dealing with these themes, this is something that is completely new for the MCU. Like, yes, we've dealt with alcoholism in subtle ways with like RDJ and Iron Man.
Yeah,
you know, in kind of subtle ways. But this was like very on the nose,
in your face.
And I loved it though.
Me too. It was brutal to watch. And speaking of, you know, showing real issues, the tortured and kind of like shattered but taped back together relationship between Yelena and her father, Alexei, the Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, broke me in half.
Perfectly illustrates two people that love each other, but don't know the right ways to show it.
Yeah.
And the climax of the movie, Yelena confronts him and is like, you know, where have you been? It's been like a year. I haven't seen you. You don't call. You don't text. Nothing.
I lost my sister, and then I lost you. Like, where have you been? And he says, I'm late, but I'm here now. And you're like,
yeah, and it's also clear that like Red Guardian's having a bit of like a midlife crisis.
Absolutely.
And it's not outright stated, but you know there's a part of him that the reason why he didn't reach out is because he was ashamed of what he was.
Yeah, he thinks he's pathetic, and he doesn't realize that his daughter doesn't see that. All she sees is like her dad that's not there.
Imagine having well-written characters.
I know.
Like, people are gonna say like we're blowing this out of proportion, but I think I've just been denied stories like this from the MCU for so many years now.
No, I'm not gonna, like, no one can tell me that this movie wasn't fucking awesome.
You know what else is awesome?
Bucky.
We can get into Bucky, but I was gonna say the action, bro.
Oh my god. Well, that's a perfect time to talk about Bucky because he was fucking cracked.
He was like such a badass. We've seen the scene in the trailer, but when they're like riding away in the desert and Bucky catches up to them, the trailer doesn't do it justice.
It doesn't. It's fucking sick.
I felt like Darth Vader was showing up or something. I'm like, oh shit, he like, let's go.
I don't know, it just felt like a lot of the action was just practical and fucking cool and real.
It was, dude. They actually shot on sets. Can you believe it?
Can you imagine shooting on a set and not like CGing like a classroom?
I know.
Or like
can you imagine like actually shooting on like the streets of New York and having actual buildings in the background instead of green screen. Like, come on, man. This is what the MCU should have been post Endgame.
Absolutely.
And it's proof also, like, there's some arguments like, oh, no one wanted She-Hulk in the first place, no one wanted this, no one wanted that. And it's like, no.
You can take anybody and make it good.
Like, we were talking on the way home, how the fuck did they redeem Ghost?
I know. She was sick. She went from like, it hurts, to like a fucking awesome, strong, funny, emotional character.
Like, just badass.
Yes.
Like, everyone was just badass in this movie.
They were.
U.S. agent, he kicked so much ass, and like, I got my super soldier fix. I got it.
No.
I didn't get it from Sam Wilson, but I got it from John Walker.
No, like, the fucking, what was done to Captain America Brave New World has to be studied.
I just feel like I've been blessed.
Me too.
Like, Papa Feige, give me another one, please.
He's not Papa Feige yet. I'm not calling him Dad, I'm calling him Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi, what can I get for you today?
Can I get a number 2?
Same
Dude, I'm thinking of like that one line where they're all talking about their trauma and like what they've been through, and Bucky's just like, well, you know, my past has been really good, so I'm fine. Should we just get into like talking about the Void? Because, oh my god, they cooked.
Visually, the effects artists, like, wow.
They nailed it, and it's so simple, and you can very easily write it off as like, oh, they didn't even do anything, he's just like a silhouette. But like, yeah, he's a silhouette, and all you see are the highlights of his eyes, and it's horrifying.
I like Louis Pullman's performance here because he doesn't just play one character. It's almost like he has split personality disorder.
It's almost like he does have split personality disorder, and it's almost like he plays 3 characters. Because he plays Bob, who's vulnerable, that we all fell in love with in the movie. He plays the Void, who is just like this manifestation of all the darkness and trauma in his life and in his soul. And he also plays the Sentry.
Homelander, basically. And I like also on that same subject, the fact that we don't just dive into these characters' traumas, you also get to see his. At one point you see a flashback of him as a kid, and his father's like beating up his mom or like verbally abusing her.
Yeah.
And he stands up to him, and then his mom turns on him and is like, you always make things worse.
She's like, don't step in, you'll just make it worse. And make everything worse.
And it perfectly illustrates how that trauma leads up until today, because
he believes that about himself.
Yes, it pits him against himself, because when he tries to fight his depression off, that is what negative feeling.
That's what it wants.
Exactly.
And you see that the Void starts encroaching upon him, and he starts like turning into the shadow of himself.
Yeah.
Speaking of shadows, there's a moment the Thunderbolts finally have coalesced as a team, and they're trying to save civilians in the wake of getting their asses handed to them by Sentry. And Red Guardian gets his moment. He saves this little girl, and she just turns into a fucking shadow. And my jaw hit the floor.
It was kind of a jump scare in theater. Like, people audibly went like, but yeah.
It was fucked.
Yeah, because it was a super heartwarming moment. Red Guardian is finally getting to be the hero he's always wanted to be.
And then just beautiful.
And in the climax of the movie, you get to see Bob versus the Void, basically.
Yeah. So what happens is, like, he makes this huge kind of like shadow wave that starts encroaching upon the whole city of New York, and Yelena kind of just walks into it.
She knows that when Bob uses his power, like he's done with her up until this point, it just traps you in your worst memory and your trauma. And so she embraces that. I mean, it's a little on the nose in terms of like the theme of the movie, which is like, you are who you are and you need to love and accept yourself.
But like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and that people around you can help you in that and hold the burden. And quite literally, as he is beating the physical manifestation of all of his trauma, all the Thunderbolts huddle around him and hold him back
and pull him off.
Yeah.
And save the day like fucking heroes. And you know, I was thinking before this movie came out, I was like, how are they gonna beat the Sentry? You know, he's like Superman and they're like nobodies, and are they just gonna have another like Sam Wilson with Red Hulk like power of friendship moment to save the day? But they did.
in one sequence, they actually do fight him as Sentry.
And they get dry cleaned.
They get their asses whooped.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He ripped off Bucky's arm and hit him with it.
I thought he was going to explode his arm at one point.
Me too. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sick of like his arm just getting completely just demolished. And you know, by the end of the movie, we've saved Bob. We've seen our main heroes actually become heroes. They solidified themselves as heroes, saving civilians, helping them, and they bring everyone back, and they see Val, and you know, they're all about to like beat the fuck out of her or / arrest her, which Bucky wants to do, and they follow her through this curtain as she's trying to get away from them, right into a press conference, and Val spins this as her own idea.
Yeah, to avoid impeachment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is what I've been working on behind the scenes.
Behold, everyone, here are your new Avengers.
And Florence Pugh leans into her and she's like, well, you can do that, but we now own you. Yeah, which I love.
And she looks terrified.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, because she sucks.
But then we cut to the title and Thunderbolts is there, and then a page is ripped and it's revealed New Avengers underneath.
This movie has like balls of steel.
It does. But then we get a time jump.
In the post-credit.
Yeah, 14 months in the future. They have been the New Avengers for the last year.
They've occupied Avengers Tower. It's their base.
They all got new fits too, and some of them are so sick.
Bucky's new fit is sick, even though his wig is crazy.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Bob is actually on the team.
But as Bob, you know, he like doesn't want to become the Sentry, which I'm like, yeah, sure, bro. And you're gonna be the Sentry.
And I feel like he's gonna kind of be the team's ace in the hole, kind of like how Hulk was. You know, like code green. Like they have like a code Bob or something. Code Bob.
I just want to talk about quickly, we get kind of an update for the character of Sam Wilson, which I really don't like.
Yeah, because at the end of Brave New World, his new mission is to create a new Avengers team.
Yeah, and we find out in this 14-month time jump that he is like trying to copyright claim the New Avengers and like...
Yeah, he's trying to sue like the Thunderbolts New Avengers
I'm like,
team.
that's so... Is that really what you're doing as Captain America? That's so fucking lame.
Sam Wilson, first of all, he's boys with Bucky.
Yeah.
Like, they are boys now. We've seen it in Brave New World.
Yeah, but then we see that, like, they're like, did you talk to Sam? And they're like, how did your talk with Sam go? And Bucky's like, poorly.
Yeah, he's not budging. And it's like, dude... But also, secondly, the Avengers, they're not perfect people as much as the public thinks they are.
No.
You know what I mean? These are broken fucking people. Like Mark Ruffalo says in the first Avengers, they're a time bomb. They're a ticking time bomb, you know, before they all unify. I feel like Sam Wilson would have just reached out to them and been like, yo, I'm making a new Avengers team. Do you want to join?
Yeah, I just don't buy it.
And I was honestly really expecting Sam Wilson to